You're too nice and I'm too mean.
Jotham, remind me to give you whispering lessons in the morning. Hey, Ross.
No, Roscoe.
Remind me to open up tomorrow. I'll do that too, bro.
I don't know why I stayed behind to watch the trailer because normally I don't. And now I'm disappointed because I was just about to say, this is the type of cast that you want where people get along. We haven't seen any commotion amongst the cast, regardless of the fact that we had Lacey in the villa. So the idea that in the next episode we're going to see a fallout between the cast, I don't like that. And I'm really stressed about that because I don't think it's necessary. I think producers should always cast people that try and get along so that we have great TV, no bullying. And then I feel sorry for Alex. I really do feel sorry for Alex. I don't think this was the show for him. For him to be shut down by all the girls doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. Even people like Yana, who are not in a romantic couple, telling him that I'm already in a couple. So what's the purpose of bringing him in? Why are we bringing bombshells in if everybody's shutting down? Maybe we need to dump people that are in couples so that we have bombshells come in and they have people that are open to exploring connections. Yes, Gabby said she liked him. He is her type. But then I want Gabby with Jotham. I want Jotham to stay in the villa. Unless they bring in someone for Jotham, then we can possibly have a meeting about that, but not at the moment. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by to Girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 7, Episode 13. 3 more to go. We're almost there. Anyway, so we opened the episode with the girls. Obviously, they are not happy. They've watched the guys. Sophie comes out. You have Gabby. Gabby is seething because to her she feels betrayed by Jotham. The fact that he sort of was able to sort of air her out to the bombshells within 5 minutes of him sitting down with them. She doesn't like that, and it's like it could be the edit. It could be the edit. I wouldn't be mad until I've spoken to Jotham and I see exactly what is going on. We get to meet the new bombshell. It's Alex. He's 28. He's from the Gold Coast. Gabby says that's her type. She like he. But also, I think she likes him. And had Jotham not been there, she might have been open to exploring with him. But the fact that she's got a good thing going with Jotham, I think it's just out of anger. This is why she's reacting the way she is. Otherwise, I don't understand why she would want to sort of try and ruin that. In the villa, you have Ross and Boston. They have amazing chemistry. This is the definition of what it looks like when someone really likes someone. Ross didn't like Sean. He was putting up with Sean because none of the girls gave him an opportunity. That's what I'm going to say. I said this before. He was bearing with Sean because he didn't have options. Now that he's got options, the way he's very vocal about his job. I didn't know he was a DJ, or maybe I missed it in day one, but I've never heard him talk about being a DJ. Some of the conversations that he's spoken about or had are things that I never expected from him because I just saw him as someone who was there on holiday, like Tommy from last season. And so the idea that he's actually very vocal, he's very lively, he can actually smile. It's something that I wasn't used to seeing with him and his partner. So the idea that he has such great chemistry with Boston, I love it. I really do. Anyway, we have Alex go on a speed date with the girls. He's told by Sophie that he's going to speed date the girls. You have Sean first for his date. She says she's open because she's not sure what's going on with Ross. Ross said he was open, so she's now not secure. So she is now looking for a plan B. And I would say to Alex, keep it stepping. She's not it. She is not it. There's nothing interesting or stand out about Sean. We've barely found out anything outside of the fact that she wanted to make out with Ross in bed. That's all we know from her. Back at the villa, you have Jotham having a conversation with with Connor, and Connor saying that he's not wanting to explore anyone. Every time he sees any new bombshells, he's just reminded of how strong his connection is with Isabel, and he doesn't want to ruin that. And it's like, buddy, the gate is open. Open the go. You don't need to stay. The gate is open. Off you go. Because you're not doing anything for us. You're not providing entertainment. You're not exploring connections. What else are you here for? Would rather you go home and we can, move on to the next person and we can see what else is out there. On her part, Isabel comes out. She says she's got a great thing going with Connor, so she's not open to exploring anything with Alex. I'm just like, Madam, follow your guy out the door, please. You have Yana. Yana comes out. She says the same thing. She's got her ex in the villa. She is exploring that, or she's open to sort of exploring that with Kia, so she's not open to exploring anything with Alex. And it's like, you two, you and your ex out the door. Next, we have Tamara. Tamara says she's in a couple's make, but she's building something new with Mateo. So at the moment, she doesn't want to bring in a third thing. I'm just like, Madam, the door's open. Whoever is not willing to explore a connection with somebody else, out the door. Yeah, I know Jotham and Gabby, I want them to stay, but they're providing entertainment. Everybody else is just there just to eat and enjoy the Spanish sun. So they can, to the left. Anyway, you have Mick having a conversation with Mia. It was really cutesy, cutesy. And I think she gets him. I don't know whether she'd be his type of girl. I think she's a bit too much for him. So if they do couple up, I don't see them lasting a long time. Obviously, they were cracking jokes. She said that she likes the fact that he's cocky and he's got a great sense of humor. I think his humor is a shield that he uses to mask and sort of protect himself from getting his feelings hurt. Well, you have a conversation between Ross and Jotham. And personally, that conversation, I think they were trying to suss out what they'd done, where they stood in their connections with their girls, and whether they were still going to continue their current couples or move on. If everybody else is honest, we all know that Ross wasn't into Sean. He was bearing with Sean, but he wasn't 100% into Sean. So I'm not sure why we're all pretending like, oh, him, why is he? No, there was nothing there. They were just exploring just because they had no other options. Jotham is saying, he has issues in his couple in the sense that Gabby would normally not be his type, but I think he's discovered other qualities in her that he likes. Gabby is on fire. She says she's open to knowing Alex because, Jotham said he was open, and also he said she was very immature and she wasn't his type. I was like, I don't think Alex is going to put a lot of pressure on Gabby unless Jotham decides he's not interested. I think there's going to be a mutual respect there, and they're not going to do anything that's going to cause any friction. So I really feel bad for Alex, and I don't know what's going to happen because I can see at the moment Boston going with Ross. Otherwise, I'd have said she can go with Alex, but I'm really worried for Alex. You have the islanders get ready for the night. The two bombshells, obviously the girls, are having a chat about their experience. It's nice that they've come into the villa without the girls there. They've become familiar and comfortable before the girls come back in because some of the girls tend to make the new bombshells uncomfortable. So I love that. The guys were talking about their connections and what's going to happen when the girls come back. Once they picked up their drinks, I love that Jotham was very nice to the girls and they said, welcome to the villa. We've really enjoyed getting to know you, and hopefully the girls are going to make you comfortable. We will always treat you with respect, which was important, that even if the girls treat you like crap, know that we have your back and we're always going to hold you up. So I love that. I really love that. And you could tell that it gave the bombshells, it gave Mia and Boston some peace. At that moment, you have the girls come back from their date with Alex, and it's like, oh, it's about to be messy. The tension when they came, personally, I don't get Sean. Sean, it would be different if it was Connor and Isabel because they've been telling everyone that they're closed off. She was telling Ross that she's closed off, but Ross wasn't telling her that she's closed off. She had to beg him, or she had to poke him and prod him for him to be physically intimate with her. So I don't get it. I do get Gabby because Gabby is constantly making out with Jotham. Gabby has been to the hideaway with Jotham. So if she wants to be upset with Jotham, it makes sense. But for Sean, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. The guys were confused. Poor Jotham. He couldn't understand what was happening because he thought he was in a good space. For things to go left like that, he couldn't really understand what's going on. Why are the girls upset? So you then had the guys sort of be told that we saw you, we watched you, every single thing that you did, and you could see their sort of heads sort of turning and them sort of questioning, what did I say, what did I do that would cause my girl to feel the way she does? And for poor Jotham, I don't think he fully understood what he said, and he was trying to sort of process what he had said, because he said, yes, I did say you were immature, but I said some positive stuff after that. I don't know whether you heard it. And I wish at that time Gabby could have taken a moment, taken a deep breath, and then gone back to him. The problem with Gabby is she goes from 0 to 100, or she looks like it. Whereas Jotham, it seems more calm and sort of even tempered. So I'm happy that there wasn't sort of this back and forth, like, let's have this conversation now, but they actually allowed each other space. You then had Connor and Isabel go to the to the terrace, and they were saying we are happy. Everybody, Isabel was telling Connor that everybody spoke highly of you. You were very respectful, and it's like he's playing the long game. He is playing the long game. He knows he wants to stay in the villa. He knows he wants endorsement deals when he leaves, so he's not going to do anything that's going to ruin that. And for you to think that this is him being 100%, good luck to you. You've already heard from production that he's playing a game. So the idea that you don't know it, I don't get it. I would love for them to expose him the way they exposed Sophie last season. That would be nice. They were making out and saying we're very happy, or a couple is going very well. Well, if that works for you, I don't know. As if that works for you, amazing. Yana then went for a chat with Mia, and she was saying, I'm very happy that we're two tradies. They seem to have bonded on their sort of jobs, and it seemed like, Yana was giving the vibe that she sort of saw Mia as her little sister, and so wanted to take her under her wing. I was like, this is not going to end well. This is going to end in tears. You then had the girls sit down for a chat, for a debrief. And so you had Boston sort of saying to Gabby, yes, you did say you were immature, but he also said some positive stuff after that. And I think this was able to pacify Gabby, because yes, she still was hot, but she wasn't as hot as she was when she came in. So hopefully there was a conversation that went further. Boston was asked about her connection. She said she had a great connection with Ross. They spoke about music, their favorite music. They also found that there are a lot of things in common. And for Sean to be upset and storm off and say, I don't want to hear that, or she's doing that because she knows it's me, girl, sit down. You are not in a serious connection with this guy. In your head, yes, but not anything that we've seen. So for you to make a big deal about something and make it seem like she's stolen your man, this man is not your man. He's not your man. And so I don't get why you're making it seem as though he was your husband and he had told you he was closed off to everybody else, and suddenly somebody has come and stolen him. That's not the situation. Shan then sat down with Ross, and she was kicking off. She was saying, how could you immediately say I'm open? You could have spoken to them about anything else. But for you to say the first words out of your mouth, hey, and I'm open, what do you mean? And it's like, this man has shown you through his actions. You have decided to turn a blind eye and sort of believe in what you want to believe in, because you didn't want to see the truth that was right in front of you, that this man wasn't feeling you the way you're feeling him. So the idea that suddenly you're offended, that he is open to exploring connections with other people, I do not get it, and I don't understand it. You had Boston sort of come and try and pull Ross for a chat, and Sean said, you can have him. I'm not going to fight for a man who doesn't want me. And it's like, you did fight for him, though. When you were telling him what you wanted, that was you fighting for him. Had you come in and just watched him and not seen that he's not open to anything, you could have just moved on if you didn't want to fight for him. So the idea that suddenly you're telling us that you don't want to fight for a man, okay, if that will make you happy, yeah, Diana and Kia go to the TP, and they were speaking about, their connection, the fact that Kia was very respectful in how he spoke about her to the girls. And so this gave her hope, and the two of them are open to exploring their connection. I am starting to see it. I know someone in the comments said they planned this. I'm starting to see it. And I'm starting to understand why it could come across that way, that they planned to come on the show and then rekindle whatever they have going. Maybe they were worried that if they did it in private, people wouldn't give it a shot because they're already influencers before they came into the show. Do I think there's hope there? I think over time, whatever toxicity was there is going to come back, and they're just going to implode as they did the first time. You had Ross sit down for a chat with Boston. I loved it. The fact that he acknowledged that yes, this is hard for Shan because she's watching him explore a connection with other people. Shan had told him that she wanted him to shut things down, but he didn't shut things down, which tells you that he likes Boston. He likes Boston and is not going to sort of shut that down unless he has to shut down, because he could have easily told her that, I don't want anything to do with you. The fact that they both agreed that we've got a vibe. They spoke about, his job and the fact that he wants to he can see himself as a husband and as a dad. And it's like, we've never heard these conversations from Ross. This tells you that Ross actually sees something there with Boston that he didn't see with Sean. And the idea that Sean will have to sort of eat that, I don't know whether she'll accept that. That this man that she's been putting all this patience in investing in is suddenly more interested in someone else. I don't get it, and I don't understand how she can't see that this man is really not her man, but is more interested in somebody else. Shan went for a chat with Alex. She was busy telling him that she wants a man. She's a very bossy in her day to day life, so she wants a man who stands out, a man who is sort of assertive and will take control of the relationship. And it's like I would tell Alex that Alex keep stepping, or wait production to bring you in your bombshell, or you'd rather go home, because I don't think Shan is it. Shan would use you the way sort of it happened last season, where that girl who won thought she was using Mercedes, but Mercedes sort of played her when she thought she was the player. This is the same situation that I'm going to see with Shan. Shan is going to try and use Alex for as long as she can, so that she can stay in the villa. You then had Jotham and Gabby finally sit down for a chat. And Gabby was complaining that you said, I'm not your type. What do you mean? And he said, well, when we first came across one another, I wouldn't have sort of stopped you in the real world. But getting to know you and getting to sort of understand who you are as a person, I like you. And so I think, yes, it was important for them to have that conversation. Yes, they clashed, but it was important for them to have that conversation so that they learn about one another. They learn about each other's type. Yes, they get along, but is that going to work in the real world? So it was important that they have the conversations that were needed in order for them to grow as a couple. And so I love that Jotham owned up and said, maybe I worded it badly. I shouldn't have said the things that I said. And so I want to sincerely apologize for that. And Gabby was open to his apology. And it was like, oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I like them as a couple. Back at the fire pit, you had Boston speaking to Alex, and she was telling Alex, who do you like? Would go and pull them for a chat. So you had Alex say, I like Gabby. So he was told, go and pull Gabby for a chat. You went to Gabby. Gabby was speaking to Jotham, and he sort of asked her for a chat. And I love that he was respectful. He said, when you finish your chat, can I have a conversation? He didn't come and say, okay, I want to chat with you now, which was cute. So Gabby then went to the fire pit for a chat with Alex, and they both agreed that they're each other's type. Gabby, on her part, sort of also realized that yes, she comes across as very confident, and so that might be a bit off-putting for other people. And she was sort of saying that I've done some work and I've changed myself since I've been in the villa. And Alex was telling her, you don't need to change yourself, just be yourself, and whoever likes you will like you. And I get where Jotham is coming from. I get where Gabby is coming from. I get where Alex is coming from, in the sense that Jotham comes across as a non-toxic person. He comes across as a peace-loving person, a very quiet person. And so the idea that you would want to be with someone who's very toxic and sort of confrontational, I think is something that he wouldn't like. And maybe this is why he would normally have walked past someone who looks like Gabby, because that's not his cup of tea. So I love that Gabby was able to sort of receive whatever was being given to her and sort of process it and understand that it's nothing personal, but it's just an opinion. For Mateo and Tamara, I don't get it. They're saying their chats are good. They're not interested in the bombshells. They spoke about their body counts. Tamara said this is 2. He said this is over 20. I don't see them as a couple. I really don't. And sadly for Tamara, if she loses Mick, she's going to be completely lost, because I don't think Mateo is it. I'm going to say it. Mateo is Medi. If you know Medi, you know what I mean. And I'm going to die on that hill. So they had a chat. I thought it was okay. I really didn't think anything about it stood out. And then we suddenly had this conversation between Mike and Mia. I thought they were cute, but I think Mia is too intense for Mike, and I don't see that lasting. I think, yes, they might joke, yes, they might get one another, but I think if you compare Tamara and Mia, I think Mick is better off with Tamara than he is with sort of Mia. I think Mia is one thing and she's set off, and once she's set off, it's going to be difficult to sort of reel her back in. You then had this conversation between Tamara and Sean. I didn't like it. I thought it was very messy and very toxic. The fact that they were shouting that I'm open, and it's like, girl, you're suddenly you've got a mouth to speak. All this time we haven't heard from you, Sean. Now suddenly, because you realize that the guy you were hoping to play is about to play in your face, you are now telling us all that you're open. Yes, you're open, but who are you open to? She was saying she's going to give Alex a chance. I don't think Alex wants that chance. So the idea that she's fighting up this hill, I don't get it. And the Islanders then got ready for the night and went to bed. I loved the light-hearted humor in the bedroom. I really did. The fact that you had Yana and Kia sort of whatever they were doing in their bed, only the two of them know. For Jotham to be having a conversation with Gabby and to be called out by Ross and told that, I'm going to teach you how to whisper. Everybody has said this, that Jotham can't whisper. So the idea that Gabby wants to have conversations with him in bed, I don't know. So you had Ross say, Jotham, remind me tomorrow and I'll teach you how to whisper. And Mike said, okay, I'll remind you tomorrow to teach me how to open up. And it's like, Mike knows his faults. And he even said this in bed to Tamara that, one of my biggest weaknesses is I don't know how to open up. I do try, but I'm not good at opening up. And so I struggle in relationships. So I love that he was able to recognize his faults and sort of see where he's going wrong. I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 12. Bye everyone.